Early 2000s meth addiction led me to getting a felony, spent a year in jail, did 4 months in a halfway house. After that time, I relapsed and went back to jail. And this is where I've had a spiritual awakening, read the Bible, got saved, and was scared straight. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to prison. I get clean only because I'm afraid. So I get out and I start doing good. I start working hard. I'm uneducated, dropped out in 10th grade, ran away from home at 15, haven't been back since type thing.
Wow.
And I just work hard. I got hard work ethic. So I know that I can build a resume on how hard I work. So I really got into fitness from age 29, 30 till about 35. 34, start gradually drinking. And I think a lot of it was ego and pride too.
For sure.
Give it a year or so and it turns into a pint a night. Blackout drunks on the weekend. Anytime we went anywhere, razor and camping, barbecues, football, Sunday,
The whole 9 yards, huh?
I'm blackout drinking all the time. 2017, my son and his younger brother and 5 other kids are in a UTV, and they go up the hill in this little UTV and they put it in neutral and they come rolling down the hill. It flips. All the kids popcorn out, and my youngest son ended up underneath the machine. It crushed his head and drug him down the road.
Oh man.
So he's got his skull crushed from ear to ear all the way through. He's dying in my arms. I arrived on the scene within seconds. It was noon. I had already taken a couple of shots, and my oldest son, Amos, comes running to the door. Dad! I run out there. He's over there choking on blood. The machine's tipped over.
Oh, dude, I can't even imagine.
Craziest day of my life. And in the back of my mind, as the cops are showing up and getting close enough to smell liquor on me, because it's noon, I'm throwing out there, I just barely opened a beer and took a drink, and then this is what happened. I started that excuse. In the midst of the worst tragedy of my life, I'm saying, I'm throwing out a justification of why I smell like alcohol.
Right.
2 months in primary children's. At one point, the doctor told us to pull the plug because he was a vegetable and they had to fix his face, and they trach feeding tube to fix it, and if they put that in, and we're gonna have to take this kid home, and worst few months of our lives. They put us up at the Ronald McDonald House. I found every liquor store on the way home, or the way to the Ronald McDonald House, and I'm blackout drunk again at night, and then wake up hungover and go see my kid in the morning at the hospital and do the hospital thing. So this led for a couple of years. It gave me the justification and excuse to drink, slowly commit suicide with alcohol. Me and my wife are this close to divorce. 2019, in August, I've had enough. Check into a detox, spent 3 days there, 6 months at action. I relapsed on August 5th, 2019, so 47 days into my treatment.
Right.
I just took 3 shots of whiskey, went back in, told on myself and my counselor. So let me get this straight. You checked into detox because you have a drinking problem. Yeah, you're here because you have a drinking problem. And now you're going to drink to prove you don't have a drinking problem. And it was just like, what?
You're like, dang.
It clicked. I haven't lost focus since that conversation.
Wow. How have you kind of been able to combat the mental health side? Have you noticed that by moving, by working, by serving in this caliber, that it's kind of replaced that need?
I tell by all the work I've done and studied, because I study so that I can help people and learn, and then I see it, apply it to myself. I'm responsible for my own choices.
Right.
I'm responsible for my own contentment. And I've learned to be content with a little, I've learned to be content with a lot, and I've learned to enjoy each and every day, and I've learned not to future trip. I've learned that the past is gone. And I apply everything that I try to teach people to my life first. And then when I'm actually in my group and I'm preaching to them, I'm only telling them stuff that I've looked in the mirror.
Oh, for sure.
and said to myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm curious how you were able to kind of like interweave your recovery back into your family system so that your wife was like, he's doing it. Your kids were like, Dad's here. How has that affected your life, and what have you noticed about rebuilding your home team?
First, you have to come to the understanding as an addict, the family's gonna hit rock bottom first.
Oh yeah.
They're sick and tired of it before you ever are. And it's not just me that needs to heal. The approach that we took was we're gonna go and recover together. She went to a counselor, friend, a Christian older lady from one of the churches we went to, and she counseled under her for 8-9 months. I went to my rehab for 6-7 months, and then we joined together and started doing it, recovering together, because she became codependent. She became, she had eggshells. She had behaviors because of my behaviors that would trigger her behaviors.
For sure.
And then once we joined forces and healed together, then we brought the kids in and started making them a part of the healing.
Just when you decide that it's over and you've got some time under your belt, that doesn't really mean anything. It's the consistency of you showing up for yourself, for your family, and for all the others. Just like working out. If you go to the gym one time, You're not going to come out looking like flipping Arnold in his prime, right?
No.
It's the consistency and the reps that you've got to keep doing, and you allowed it to happen naturally. It
wasn't only people that used or drank or partied with me that I had to get rid of. That was the easy part, because I had drank myself into a place that people didn't want me around. It's when I became successful and I wanted to hit this next level of success in my life, you have to leave those people behind.
Oh, 100%.
And it's not just about getting clean, it's when you actually start becoming successful and people see that you're not mediocre anymore. You know, we just met today, but my best gift still to you is my self-development.
Yeah, dude.
I think people understand now that if they come around me, you're either going to get inspired, you're going to match the same level as I do, because I tell people that in recovery. Hey, you come in here and you give 110%, I'm going to give 110%. You go 50, I'll go 50.
Absolutely.
One thing that I've been doing lately that seems to be working, the first day they get there, I have them write their eulogy. If they were to die today, what would your eulogy say? And that scared me in early recovery, because had I died right before I got clean and sober, they would have written some eulogy about me. They would have gotten up on stage and read it. Oh, he was a father of 4. He was a great guy.
Never speak ill of the dead, right?
Yeah. And people in the audience are nudging each other. Bullshit, you know?
I remember this one time. Yeah, absolutely.
Are they going to have to lie? You know, so I have them write an honest eulogy.
Man.
And then I have them...
It's a wake-up call.
Rewrite it. What do you want it to say? Because that's where I'm living.
That's the key.
Yeah. We focus on your biopsychosocial.
Love it, man.
You know, we want to get your body fit because you've destroyed it. You've been poisoning it. Your brain is not working the way it should.
Yep.
Now let's get it moving. Get the indoor, you know all the stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You have to move. Your body has to heal just as much as your mind has to heal, just as much as your spirit has to
If you train your body, your mind will follow.
Absolutely.
I totally believe that. Give me the rest of the story with your son. I mean, he was in there. They were saying, pull the plug. Tell me what happened.
That was the heaviest day I've probably ever had in my life. That day was worse than standing before a judge getting ready to be sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Oh, for sure, man.
Right? We're standing there, and we're looking down at him. His eyes are just, he's gone. We have to fix his face. In order to do that, we got to put a feeding tube and a trach in him. And if we do that, you're going to put life in this body, and then you got to take it home. My wife, God bless her heart, she was fighting the doctors, questioning everything they said, making them double check everything, right? So we go back to Ronald McDonald House. Of course, I get shit-faced drunk. I'm snot crying, finger to God.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Why? Blah, 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 poor me. We go back that next Monday, and the doctors are in the room that you don't see. Yeah. They made a case study out of him, all that kind of stuff. These big wig doctors, right? So the big guy comes in, and he's telling us what's going on. He goes over to Link and grabs his trap, and he gives it a good squeeze. We wait a couple minutes, probably about a minute, 30 seconds, and he goes, just a little twitch. His shoulders went up just a titch. He goes, that's a good sign. He goes, let's give this boy a chance.
Oh, man.
And it was just the heaviest blanket or whatever, bag of rocks around my neck just fell off. And so...
He said those words. That's a good sign. Let's give this boy a chance.
Yeah. They end up removing his skull, letting his brain swell. They fix his face. He starts coming out of it slowly, very slowly. He just turned 16.
Wow.
He's going to high school. Pretty darn self-sufficient. He's got brain damage, right? He has memory problems, a little bit of social skill problems, because he still acts like a little younger than he is. He's blind in one eye, deaf in one ear. Most people don't know it when they first meet him.
Dude, he's a miracle.
The happiest kid you would ever see.
That situation that happened with your family was also a good thing. Wish we could have had a lot better, different situation to make it that way. But like hearing what you just said, like it would be an honor to meet Link. That to me is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Listeners, when you go through these experiences, I need you to listen to what he's talking about. Like you can rise to it, or you can take a knee with it. And thank heavens you rose to it, because look what you created for him and for the whole experience with your family in and of itself.
I don't know if you're a Bible believer, but there's a verse that came to life after this. Okay, so he died in my arms. And if I lay down the exact whole chain of events, it's mind-boggling. So I look back at that moment and what it gave me. Like it says, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according. All things work together for good. I think this is a blessing from that event that is in me, is my perspective change on life.
Oh man.
Talk about the hardest paradigm shift I've ever had in my life, but what a blessing it happened, because I realize how fragile life is. I realize how short time is, and I realize how important people are.
Absolutely.
You throw some alcoholism on that and you sprinkle a little midlife crisis, and I'm a new man.
It's a perfect recipe. Yeah, I hear you.